Hi friends, let's talk today about the election. Trump got elected. So what to expect from Trump with US immigration, of course, that's our focus, in the next 4 years. I'm an attorney for 20 years. My name is Marina Shepelsky, and I've been doing immigration law for 20 years, and I survived the first Trump term. None of our clients were deported. Everything got approved. So if you have a good lawyer, you have to think ahead, you have to prepare for these changes, you have to be aware of them, and then you deal with them. So let's talk about the changes today. And if you have your own ideas about what you think Trump will do, put them in the comments below. Let's talk, let's make this a conversation, and we will discuss what your ideas are and how likely is it to happen. And I bet you have some good ideas that are not even on my list that I prepared for you guys. So let's go. The changes to expect from Trump and US immigration in the next 4 years. And thank God it's only one term that we can expect from him now. Only 4 more years, not more. All right, the first thing, he's talked about this, and he now appointed Stephen Miller, a very conservative immigration head he had in this administration, the first time as his head of staff for policy for the new White House. So he will be working with the same very conservative dude. So we can expect increased ICE raids and enforcement. Biden had this whole thing with enforcement priorities, which means they were not deporting certain people that weren't a priority for deporting. You know, people without crimes, with US family members. But we don't expect that from Trump, so expect more undocumented immigration deportation. DACA, he's going to push to end DACA. 3, perhaps the fees, the government application fees will increase again. They just increased in April 2024 under Trump. 4, public charge rule. This is going to be a big one. We saw this a lot during the first term. It's coming back. The public charge rule was basically that new immigrants had to prove that they're capable of supporting themselves when they come to America, especially for family unification categories. So when it was family members filing for visas for other family members, the immigrant family member, the new immigrant, had to prove when they come to US, they're not going to be a burden on the American taxpayers. So there was a special form in place that USAS had done away with after Trump, but I think it's going to come back. And the form was to fill out the new immigrants' assets, income, education. In other words, to vet out people that could come to US and not work and get public benefits like free insurance. 5, I don't know about this one, but it's definitely in the news. They expect that there's going to be less visas issued for family categories. 6, border wall will continue to be built. The wall is continuing to be built. That's self-explanatory. This is on the border with Mexico. 7 is TPS. I think some countries will lose TPS and they will not get renewed. And they're probably going to be countries that are, I'm thinking Haiti and some other Latin American countries like El Salvador and so on. 8, increasing vetting. So more checks, even more strict vetting, checking on every visa, and delays in processing because of this. 9, stricter refugee admissions cap, meaning refugees will decrease. 10, more strict student visa regulations. So it will be harder to get the F1 student visa. 11 is CBP-1 will end. So the app on the border where people are applying to get into US, wait for their turn and apply through the CBP-1 app. It's an app on your phone that you can download once you're in Mexico. I think Trump will end it. Remain in Mexico policy is number 12 on my list. So he's going to bring back, for people who are applying for asylum at the border, they have to stay in Mexico until the ICE officers or the CBP officers at the border will make a decision on their case. 13, this was used a lot in the last 3 years, especially. PD, prosecutorial discretion. I think this will end under Trump. PD is when the immigration judge and the government attorney, OPLA or ICE attorney, that's basically the equivalent of the immigration prosecutor or like a district attorney in immigration court, they have a discretion to end and terminate some cases where, for example, there's a U.S. citizen relative who's soon going to be filing some petition. Or, there's no crimes, there's no big problems here. So they were able to agree with the attorneys for the respondent, the attorneys for the immigrant, to close out, dismiss, and terminate the deportation case. Now, this confused some people because they no longer had a work permit nor a case, but at the same time, it helped them because they weren't getting deported. They just stayed without status, but not deported. So I think that Trump will take away that ability from the judges and the ICE attorneys. PD, I think, will be done. Then it will be difficult to get asylum in court. More difficult than it is now, because I think they're going to bring back something called nexus for asylum, meaning to prove asylum, you'd have to prove pretty much direct prosecution by the government of your country, not by the people, not some issues you had with some people in the country, but actually from the police, from the tax department, whatever it is, the government had to prosecute you for you to win asylum. Otherwise, you're getting denied and deported. Work authorizations, I think they will be getting issued for shorter terms now. And finally, I think it will be more difficult to get the H-1B visa. Stricter requirements for H-1B visas will be in place. They already did a lot of more strict regulations under Biden because a lot of people were submitting like multiple petitions, duplicate petitions. But now I think that will be even more strict, and it will be more difficult now to hire skilled foreign workers. So I do think things will be more restrictive, more challenging. Now is the time to get a lawyer, and we've already survived this. We know what we're doing. Give us a call today to begin your case with us.